Here I have the saltwater estuary box for April 2021. Let's have a look. All right, I'm going to start off with the hard body in this bag because there's only one hard body and the rest are all soft plastic options that are going to be fished completely differently. So we're going to start off with the Samaki Reddick jerk baits. This is a 60mm minnow style hard body lure, bibbed hard body. And it's going to be great for trolling up flathead or even great for casting to the edges or snags for brim, flathead, jacks, you name it. This one here is a little hard body that dives to 1.5 to 2 meters roughly, where you've got all your gutters that flow out. So if you go out in a high tide and the tide's dropping, you'll see all these gutters start to flow out with water. I'm going to aim my cast up there and do probably a medium to fast roll. So this thing dives and swims through that huge gush of water that's coming out when that tide starts to drop. Now, if you're going to be trolling this, like I said, it does go about 1.5 to 2 meters maybe if you're fishing a super thin light braid. So you're going to be trolling along some river edges or along some drop-offs where you got those banks dropping off to deeper water, where you got your flathead and stuff sitting along those sides. Troll along there and you'll be sure to pick up some good fish. Now, if you're going to be sitting stationary, or if there's a lot of prawns in the area and you want to mimic a different profile of food that's around, you're going to jump over to the jerk shrimp. Now, the way these are rigged is really, really interesting. Typical to a lot of other soft plastic shrimp that are on the market is the toe point of the hook is near the head with the barb of the hook coming out somewhere halfway down the body towards the tail. Therefore, you're just mimicking a prawn that is just swimming forward. The way this is rigged, the barb and the hook end comes out of the head and the toe point is halfway down the body, leaving a lot of free movement for the tail to kick backwards. Now, because of this, I'm not going to really fish it with a slow roll, a medium roll. I'm actually just going to add a lot of pauses and a lot of jerks, twitches, etc. You want that tail kicking, kicking, kicking. You want to mimic a fleeing prawn. So cast it out, let it sink down, twitch, twitch, sink, twitch, twitch, sink. Add a lot of twitches into this because that tail is just going to keep kicking and it's going to look like a fleeing prawn trying to get away to survive another day. Then we can jump over to the curl tail plastics. So first up here from Pontoon 21, I've got the homunculus in the jilt. It's this little 2-inch grub. I'm probably going to be flicking this around for either small flathead or even your brim, whiting on a very, very light jig head. So I'm thinking 1/16, 1/12 of an ounce. So you get a really slow sink and you still get a lot of action from that tail. Now, if you're fishing it this way, cast it up along some oyster racks, some rock walls, pontoons, great place to find some feeding brim and plenty of other species as well. If I want to jump over to a more lifelike or a bigger profile, then I'm going to move over to the Fish Arrow Flash J Grub. These, I've said it countless times, one of my favorite plastics to fish, and that's because the foil inside these plastics just gives off so much extra flash. It's almost cheating. Especially in dirty water, these are great. Clean water, even better because they're going to refract so much more light. So these are a grub style plastic, just like the homunculus that we had previously, but with that foil inside giving off extra flash, a slightly longer and thicker body over the 2-inch jilks. That is a smaller style plastic, so this is a bigger one. So I'm probably going to use this with a heavier jig head, chasing maybe some flathead or something as well. I'm going to up it to maybe 1/4 ounce, even up to 3/8 of an ounce, depending how I'm fishing this. If the current's going pretty hard and pretty quick, I'm going to go with a heavier jig head. Or if it's going hard and quicker in shallow water, I'll go a light jig head, but cast up current and let that current swim the lure back for me, making fishing a lot easier, but you're covering a lot of ground in a very small amount of time and a great way to find fish and where they're holding up. Now, if you're, say, up in calmer waters over some flats or in some heavy structure, but you know, it's not, the water's not as messy as where you might be fishing with some of the grub style plastics. We've got the Damiki anchovy shad. So these are a big paddle tail plastic. I'm probably gonna rig these on something like 1/4 to 3/8 of an ounce jig head, casting these at some heavier structure in some softer or smoother waters, so I can maximize the amount of water going past the tail as I retrieve this. Because these tails put out a lot of vibration, therefore giving this plastic a big roll at the same time. These are great for flathead, great for jacks, thread fin, mull away. They're just a great all-round plastic, but you're gonna be fishing these a lot faster, is the way I like to do it, because of the long, slender profile that these have. But if you wanna check out this box or any of the other boxes in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.